Well, what do we got outside? The streets are trying to dry up. Yeah, we had a big storm move through here on both sides of the city, one just to the south of us and one just to the north of us, and we were kind of in the middle. I could hear the thunder rolling. In fact, I talk about it in the rollback. We don't have much of a rollback today. In fact, I did not do near as much yesterday afternoon and evening as I thought I was going to. But we'll get at it today. And I'll explain why I've got this part on the rotator. we'll zoom in there. Anyway, yeah, let's get going. The sunrise this morning, it was different. It was different. It wasn't really a sunrise. The sun just sort of flashed through every once in a while, and yeah, it was, once again, it was trying, and it was different. Now, let's get on here. I don't have any news, so let's just get into what we're doing here. We'll watch the rollback first, and then we'll continue on from there. Yeah. Okay, I have bent the second ladder, and when I was doing it, I was sort of wondering, had I maybe made a mistake on the first ladder in that I had bent it away from the folding lines instead of towards the folding lines. But no, I'd bent it the right way. It's just that it seemed to bend differently from ladders that I've done in the past. Now, as far as this railing here goes, this railing has to go around this thing right here, which is going to have something mounted in it. And I think what I'm going to try and do is get it into round just slightly smaller than this diameter, and then it will sort of, you see, I'll be able to sort of clip it on. At least that's the plan. It looks like I could possibly sort of spread it apart and clip it on, and then make it a lot easier to CA into place. At least that's the plan. So I'm going to find a dowel here. I'm just eyeballing this. This looks at like approximately 5/16 of an inch in diameter. So I'm going to find a dowel that's smaller than that and just sort of wrap this around it. Well, once again, that's the plan. Okay. Now, I was looking at these railings here, and they are symmetrical in that it doesn't matter which way you have it. Oh, that's okay. That's just my pressure cooker telling me that the canning that I'm doing is, yeah, canning on such a hot day. Maybe it's not a good idea. Anyway, these are symmetrical. It doesn't matter which way you have it. The post, you know, is right in the center of the rails. So, yeah, my son was over and he brought some fresh strawberries that he had picked. Maybe this is not... you know, a mouse pad, I am told, is really good for this, and that would be just about the best kind of rubber to use. The problem is I can't find my old mouse pad. There we go. Let's put a little bit more pressure on it here. Yeah, that's rolling it down. All right. Let's have a look here. Maybe I'll have to put the macro lens on. But we're getting it. Oh, I think I started to mention something about the heat wave we're having. I was noticing on the bottom of the computer it said, in red letters, it said heat wave. So I looked at my thermometer and it said 33 point something outside. Now that's pretty hot for Winnipeg. Now we're talking Celsius here, right? Okay, let me recompose here, and we'll just try this on one of these. Wait a minute. on one of these. Okay, about 10 minutes or more has passed here, and I'm hearing some pretty wicked thunder going on outside right now. So I guess this heat wave has spawned a bad storm. Okay, now remember I had wanted to just sort of clip that on there. What can I use to push that on? Well, I guess something like this. If I hold it down. I don't want to go bending it out of shape either. I just want to see if this is going to work. Yeah, I think that's going to be alright. It just sort of wants to stay on there all by itself. See? Now the little part that goes in there, I can't seem to find it. It was called an F40. It could be that the F40 is still on the sprue, and I never cut it. I thought I'd cut all the pieces for these steps. Well, we'll check to see if we can find it. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the other railing the same way. Now, I'm not going to glue them in place right now because I think the time to paint them is when they are off. Otherwise, I'll be getting paint on the deck. Well, it is morning, and I have since found out that the reason I could not find the F40 is because it's still on the sprue. I'm going to put the macro lens on because I want to show you something about this. A person could easily install it upside down. Okay, when you're looking at this piece and you don't know what it is, and I did try to find it in Carlo's drawings, and I just couldn't find anything. And if you don't know what this is and the way it's supposed to go, it's quite possible that you will mount it upside down because it almost looks like there's a positioning pin sticking out of it there. Not the end where it's fastened to the sprue, but the other end. And that's what I thought at first, actually. And but then when I tried to find it in the drawings and couldn't find it, maybe it's in that, one of the viewers recommended a book that he had on the Rodney, and I found that I could get the same book in the Kindle version of it, and I was thinking of it, and I still might. But anyway, you can see here that it would be quite easy, like I say, to position it upside down and accidentally think that this end here is supposed to go in the hole. But how then when you remove it from, when you cut it off the sprue, how do you mount it? Does it just sort of sit over the hole, or there doesn't seem to be any kind of little peg or anything that's attached just to, like where the sprue ends and the part begins. Sometimes there's a part of a peg there, like the like the one that I accidentally nipped off on a part there just a few days ago. Anyway, enough talking about it. Oh, also the F1 is. I'll show it to you. Okay, the F1. It appears to me that it is supposed to be some kind of a rangefinder. Just let me bring it around here so I can get in here, and you can sort of see where, if you cut your sprue off here and here, this part that I'm trying to touch right now with my awl. By the way, Jason did a tool review about awls, so I'm pointing with my awl so you all can see it, or as Dr. Phil says, y'all. Anyway, enough about the y'all. We all get the idea. Okay, yeah, it looks like a rangefinder to me. Envision this thing 200 times bigger, and maybe this is supposed to be, is that supposed to be a little seat that the guy would sit on? I don't know. Don't know if why there'd be a seat there. Anyway, so that's the F1, and that's why I couldn't find the F1s. Still on the sprue. Okay, I'm thinking with our number ones, and maybe even with the number 40, wherever it is over here, the best thing might be to paint them while they're attached to the sprue. And because you notice when I remove it from the sprue, I'll be removing it on the bottom of the peg, which it doesn't matter if it doesn't get painted there. In fact, the underneath here doesn't matter at all. But let's see, how can I remove this so that it all stays together? Probably like this. Very carefully, very slowly. Ooh, I don't want to break this off because I'll end up with a divot there. Maybe I better come in like this here. I don't want to accidentally break this here. It's very, very fragile. There we go. Okay, now where's the number 40? There it is right there. Okay, so there's only one number 40 and I need two. But there are two F sprues. So that must mean we must need a couple of these pieces here further on down the line. But we'll worry about it then. Being as I'm painting with a brush now, there's no big deal. I can open a jar and do the, in about a minute versus the 20 minutes that an airbrush takes. Okay, so we're going to get our number 40 here, and we're just going to leave it attached. Okay, so I can grab this now with a pair of tweezers and put it in one of those special blocks and twist it around and get it just right, and then it'll dry. I don't need to worry about, well, anyway. Now as far as these go, one of the viewers reminded me that I seem to be having better luck with the paint sticking to the photo etch when I was using the ultrasonic cleaner. So I'm going to do the ultrasonic cleaner thing for these 4 pieces and see if I notice any difference, because undoubtedly, there's grease from my fingers and grease from the manufacturing and maybe mold release. I don't think there's mold release on photo etch. Anyway, I'm going to do it anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that and stop flapping my gums here. Now, is this going to fit in there without bending the stuff? Oh yeah. Okay, now let's try not to touch it with my greasy fingers. Did I ever do a test to see if the ultrasonic hurts detail on plastic? I think I did, and I can't remember what conclusion I came to. Does anybody actually remember? I guess we could always do it again, right? Okay, let's get this off of there very, very carefully. Okay, I got a slight problem going on here. I'll put the macro lens on and show you. If I can get it off. Okay. Now, do I have to re-rinse this one because I touched it with the Iowa airbrush cleaner that's in this thing, and I think I saw some of it wicking. I'm going to just re-rinse this, but I'll do it off camera. Anyway, let me put the macro lens on, show you something, and it seems to me that this happened to me before. Okay, I did re-rinse this one in the isopropyl, just in case. Now it could be that the Iowa airbrush cleaner residue has no effect on inhibiting the paint from sticking better. Okay, but look what's happened here. One of the treads, I guess from the vibration from the ultrasonic cleaner, metal fatigue has set in. And it seems to me that we have experienced that before. Now, I was just looking a moment ago as to where this is going to go on the superstructure, and there is probably no way we could notice, even if we tried, that this tread isn't on there. I'm not going to try and solder it back on, although I probably could. But I'm not going to bother trying. I mean, I waste way too much time doing this kind of stuff. So we're just going to paint it the way it is. Basically, what we're going to be seeing is let me get it back here. I have to be so careful how I grab it. Basically, what we're going to be seeing is the top portion sticking up out of the deck. In other words, these handrails here sticking up, and maybe you might see down the top one or two treads, but nobody's going to notice that this one is missing. Yeah, that's too bad. Now, I'm going to see if I can't maybe show nipping off of this this flashing here on camera. I can't think and work at the same time here, or talk and work at the same time. Anyway, just let me recompose here a little bit. Okay, let's try not to move this now. I'm not in quite as close as I could get, but if I get in as close as I could get, then we're not going to be able to see all the connections here. Now, I don't want to have to try and trim this off. Okay, we got rid of that one. Now I'm turning my cutter around 90 degrees. This one's not going as good. I'm having a problem here. See, I want the cutter this way. There we go. Oh, garbage truck's coming by. Okay, now we'll do this one. And try and get it square here. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, now maybe if I was to see if I could hold this in a tweezer, and then I could sort of sand along the edge, you know what I mean? Okay, that's what I'd wanted to do. I have to be so careful not to snap one of these off now. I know there are two more on the sprue, but I think we probably need them. Okay, I got those ends more or less squared off now. I'm going to wrap today's episode up, even though we could probably do a little bit more. Last time I checked, yesterday's episode still wasn't in 4K. Maybe it was because it was so long, or maybe it's because I uploaded the second time late. Second time, yeah, because the first time there was something wrong with the video, like it was my fault. In other words, part of it wasn't there, so I had to redo it, and I uploaded a little bit later than usual, and consequently, because it was 33 minutes long, I think, and uploaded late, and because it was the second time, maybe YouTube is mad at me, and they're saying we're not going to give you 4K. Now, it could be, as I'm speaking right now, it is in 4K. On the other hand, it's possible it may never go into 4K. So I'm going to quit here. What do we got here? 9 minutes after 12. And get this uploaded, and if I do any painting later today, it'll be on tomorrow's rollback, and I think I will be, but you know, I don't know how the day's going to go. Maybe something's going to happen. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get a coffee visitor. Maybe that's going to throw it for a loop, but I don't think so. Yeah, too bad about the rung on that ladder. I can see it glinting here. I'm not going to solder it back on, no. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.